Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Candidly with Coffee.
Yep, we're back.
Happy Monday, the first Monday of April.
First Monday of April. Don't get fooled, everybody. It's April.
Did you get any? Did anyone fool you with any April Fool's jokes?
No, I fell for one for a second about Snoop Dogg quitting weed or this and that. But it seemed real, and I was like, nah, he's not quitting weed. No way.
Oh,
I
my
fell
God.
for it. Like, no way. That guy,
I
he smells like a chimney.
I fell for one from Built Bar. Built Bar posted that they were releasing a new flavor. I was like, really? Are you freaking kidding me? This is ridiculous flavor. I totally didn't even think about it being April 1st. They said it was a sushi flavored Built Bar with chunks of salmon in it.
You were probably like,
I was like, what? I had no concept of the
fell
fact that
for
it
it.
was April.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my. And then I was like going to tell Tyler, I was like, Tyler, you're never going to believe this. And I was like, wait just a darn minute. Never mind. I think I just got fooled.
You did. You fell for it.
Yeah,
they threw it out there for everybody. Whoosh.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I always remember April 1st because my grandmother passed away on April 1st. My mom's mom.
Wow.
At 59 years old. She died on April 1st.
Young lady.
59. Now that I'm 47, I realize how young she was.
Mm-hmm.
I was so close with her. She was literally like my mom. You know how I describe my mom, like giving and just the, most giving person. That's my grandmother.
Yeah.
She got it from her mom for sure.
Yeah. Like as soon as you walk to the door, if you're hungry, she's already making food.
She was just
You know what I
like,
mean?
yeah,
That's kinda
just,
grandma.
I don't know. She was just the best. I don't know. Spoiled me rotten. She was always so excited to see me. That's what I remember. Like she would call my mom and I'd answer the phone and she would go, she would start screaming all these things in Portuguese and I would be like, Mom, Va's on the phone. And I would hand it because I was like, oh my gosh. She would just go over the top.
Yeah.
She was over the top.
You know how it is. They love their grandkids.
Well, I know. I guess I'll figure it out someday. I'll have
Someday.
grandkids. You know what's crazy? I was thinking about that today, thinking that I don't know what I saw or something. Oh, there was just a podcast I was listening to, and she was talking about the influence her grandmother had on her life. She goes, my grandmother lived with me, and she had such a big impact on her life. I was like, wow, I still have to embark on that in my life. Like, you know what I mean? I still have a whole generation to influence.
Yeah.
Like, I could be that super influential
It's true.
grandmother.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah. So it was like, cool. Like it's still such a,
Especially if you're very actively involved in your grandkids' lives,
yeah, which I plan to be. I definitely plan to be very active.
Yeah.
In their lives for sure.
You know why? It's like kind of, you get to be the fun mom. Meaning like you're the grandkids, but you don't have to discipline them or none of that really.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
It's
though.
just
We'll
spoiled.
see. I mean, yeah, I'll do the spoiling
Yeah,
for sure.
you know what I mean? Grandparents
But
spoiling.
But I don't, like it depends what kind of role I will have for sure. Like my mom kind of raised my kids with me because I went back to work full time and she watched them.
Yeah.
And now that I think back, like she watched them without a hesitation.
Yeah.
It was never like, oh, how many days and what time are you picking them up and what time are you going to be here? Never. There was never a moment. It was just kind of a given. It was almost like she was their parent too. And I could drop them off when I wanted to. And now that I think back, I'm like, wow.
And they're going to be safe with your mother. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen.
Yeah, and she would always just say, don't worry about them. They're fine. Don't call over here.
That's
just
funny.
Leave them alone.
Let them be.
Yeah, like she wanted me to
this.
just drop them off and not worry about it until I was ready to pick them up.
Yeah.
I never had that stress of, oh my gosh, I have to find a babysitter. Never. If I needed to go out of town or I would just say, hey, Mom, I'm going to drop off the kids. And she would be like, okay, bring them over.
No hesitation, huh?
Nope. And so obviously she would be the primary, but my dad obviously was cool with it too.
Yeah.
He didn't have a problem ever. He loved having the kids over. My parents' house was the hub of all the grandkids.
Huh.
They would just
the hub, yeah.
be there.
Yep. All the family events, birthday parties.
Mm-hmm. So we actually embarked back to Santana Road this weekend. We haven't been there in a long time.
No,
How
we
long
haven't
had
been.
it been since we've been to Santana Row?
Probably some months. Probably last
Months.
year
Yeah,
sometime.
because it was
This
every
weather's
time
been
the
bad.
weekend rolls around, the weather's bad. Actually, the sun is coming out right now.
Starting to poke through.
The weather was bad. Like, so we'd always be hunkering down on the weekend. And like the weather was bad last week, but we got one day of like really good sunshine and it was Saturday. It was perfect. We went and no, we didn't go to El Jardín. We went to Zazil.
Right
And
door.
it's like an open air restaurant. So all of the sliders are like open. So you feel like you're sitting outside, but you're kind of inside. I had the most delicious salad there. I want to go back for the salad.
Those drinks were good too.
If you're local, it was like there's only 2 salads on the menu. It's like it says jicama, grilled chicken, like a cilantro vinaigrette dressing. That salad is 10 out of 10.
There you have it.
So good. Yeah, their drinks are good too. Their drinks are way stronger than Luna's drinks.
I wonder why that is.
I needed to wait. We waited for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like it's just so you guys know.
Coffee, relax a little bit, sit down afterwards, just chill.
It's Sunday afternoon because I feel like I'm like, why am I feeling so kind of drained today? Well, I drank Friday night and Saturday night.
You went heavy this weekend. You went 4 drinks in.
4 margaritas in 2 days. That's a lot. So yeah, I feel it. And alcohol taxes what? Your energy production.
Yes.
That's what it taxes, your liver. And your liver is what produces the energy,
mm-hmm.
your glycogen and stuff to function. So it's not going to be busy producing energy while it's metabolizing alcohol. So you feel a little run down.
Yeah, it's true.
So I do. But we did go on our walk, which was good.
Yeah, we did. So we're somewhat active.
Yeah, what else did we do? I did a little...
Just errands?
Yeah, just errands. We went today and did our grocery shopping.
Yep.
Target and stuff like that. I'm doing like I'm gonna fish kick this week. I'm gonna do fish.
Fish, there you go.
Salmon. I want to make I want to cube my salmon and like top it with honey and soy.
Sounds
and then
good.
air fry it and then make a salad. I think I already talked about this.
Sounds good.
But that's what I'm gonna do.
Sounds like a winner.
That's what I'm gonna have for dinner. I've been on such a kick with the eggs and then the queso fresco in the corn tortillas for breakfast. I just had that right now, you guys. So good.
It's good.
You got me on the queso fresco. I don't think I had ever tried it in my life until we started dating.
Queso fresco.
So good.
Yes, it is.
And it's macro friendly. An ounce of it's only 70 calories and you get about 6 grams of protein. It's just like basically like pure protein, a little bit of fat. So good. And then I did a little trick to my eggs today. Did you like the Laughing Cow?
Yeah.
In the eggs?
That was good.
Was it good? So I made egg whites, but to give it a little extra something, I put a triangle of light Laughing Cow cheese and let it melt into my egg whites. And it just gave them such a good, like, creamy texture, creamy flavor.
Yeah. It's good texture.
So good. And a light wedge of Laughing Cow cheese is only 30 calories.
Nice.
So that little breakfast, 2 corn tortillas with 1.5 ounces of queso fresco, half a cup of egg whites, and the Laughing Cow cheese is like 260 calorie breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 30 grams of protein. No, almost 40 grams of protein.
Damn, you get a lot bang for your buck.
Yeah. A lot of protein. So like 35 grams, something like that.
Wow. And you enjoy it too, you know what I mean? It's good.
Yeah, like
I could eat that every day. Tortillas with queso fresco.
We used to. Remember we would just stand over the stove in the morning and make like one after another after another?
Mm-hmm.
We weren't trying to be good or anything. We were just eating it because we enjoyed it.
Yep.
But it's amazing the things that if you learn macros, if you put that time into learning macros, it really does give you so much food freedom.
Yes, it does.
You can eat whatever you damn well please.
It's just, I think for people, it's just getting started and getting going and being consistent with it. Once they learn the system and they're consistent, it becomes like autopilot. The more you do it, you're going to do it every time.
It's so easy.
It's easy. You just bust out the scale, bust out your plate, whatever you want, and start, measure your rice. Okay? Measure your rice. Now you tear it back to 0. Measure your side salad or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, like grab a bowl, stick it on the scale.
Yes.
And as you're adding things, tear it in between each thing. and then just tabulate it. And you don't really, when I say tracking macros, to be honest, guys, like if you are just a lifestyle person trying to lose weight and be fit and healthy, you don't need to really track all the macros. All the macros would be carbs, fats, and protein. You don't. If you're tracking your calories, all you have to do is track protein.
Yep.
That's it.
Make
so it doesn't have to be difficult.
That's why. That's like you're making it more simple.
Yeah.
Simplify. Don't complicate it.
Because you don't need to. Because the math equation will make the rest of it up automatically. You don't need to calculate it. It will.
I don't think people could grasp it though. What you mean?
No, they don't get it because you're tracking
make
calories.
An example. Like I'm 190 pounds, so I would want ideally 101 protein, 190 grams of protein, give or take, for my frame.
It's not based off of your weight. It's based off of your muscle mass.
Muscle mass.
It's based off of lean body mass. So your total weight.
Gotcha.
You know how many pounds of your total body weight is muscle.
Ah.
So if you have 100 pounds, say you have 100 pounds of muscle, let's just say.
Yeah.
100 pounds of muscle and you wanted to put on muscle, maybe we'd want you to be like 1.5 grams per pound of muscle. That'd be 150 grams of protein.
I see. Nah, it makes sense.
Yeah, because you don't need to have protein. If you have a lot of body fat, you don't need to have a gram of protein for all that body fat. You know, if you have a 300-pound person and you say, oh, have a gram of protein for every pound of body weight, they got to eat 300 grams of protein? No, they don't need that because you only need enough protein to sustain and build upon your muscle. So you don't have to factor in your fat and your non-lean muscle tissue.
Yeah.
You don't have to factor that into the equation. So the best way I like to do it is and I feel like a lot of times coaches will throw out a higher number than people need because it's easier to calculate. It's easier to calculate for one. And it's not going to hurt them if they eat more protein, if they're tracking calories. It's just going to help because it really helps you keep you satisfied.
Yeah.
So it just makes it easier to understand. If you are not going to have your macros calculated for you and you're just trying to ballpark figure it out, yeah, eat a gram per pound of body weight, but you're probably going to get more than you need, but that's okay.
Yeah. What did they say? NASA 0.08?
That's basic needs. Basics. That's not for someone who's trying to put on muscle.
That's basic.
That's for basic needs. 0.8 per kilogram of body weight. So that's very low protein. Because that's minimum.
A kilogram equals 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, because protein is essential. We need it to live. So there is a bare minimum amount of protein that we need to get in order for our body to function.
Yeah.
And so that's where those guidelines come. Those guidelines are not based on someone who's trying to build muscle, put on muscle, etc. So, but if you're like confused by the whole thing, here's a good rule of thumb. Okay, I'm going to give you guys, I've heard this before and it's absolutely wrong. So let's go over that first. Do not multiply your goal body weight by 10 and then that's your total calorie intake and then 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. That's what I've heard. So a lot of people will say that. What that means is if you want to be 120 pounds, then that would mean you eat 1,200 calories. Okay. No, that's not a good way. Because if you are currently very far away from your goal body weight, you're going to restrict calories too much if you do that. That is just kind of like a cookie cutter, crappy calculation. Don't do it.
There's a lot of them out there.
But if you want another cookie cutter calculation that would actually come a lot closer, what I would recommend is subtracting 30 pounds from your current weight and multiply that by 10. So this is assuming you have more than 30 pounds to lose. So if you're 200 pounds right now, you want to eventually be 120, but you're not 120. I mean, you're not close to 120 right now. You're 200 pounds. So subtract 30 pounds off your weight. That would make you 170 times that by 10. Your calorie deficit would be on or around 1,700 calories. So you could try that. That could be a starting point. Try that, calculate that, do that for a couple of weeks and see what your body does. If you lose weight anywhere from 0.5 to 1.5% of your body weight, that's a good number for you. If you lose more than 1.5% of your body weight, it's probably a little too low for you. Bump it up a little bit. If you lose less, it's probably a little too high. And that's how you can go. That's why, to be honest, see how that trial and error goes? That's why it's just so much better to have a professional just do your numbers.
That's true.
Because that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Because you're figuring out the dosages, what they need.
Yeah, you're figuring it out.
It's a dosage. It's a formula. Every person's different and unique,
Yeah. So if you go to someone who's experienced, they're going to usually get it right the first time. Maybe have to do another adjustment, maybe a second time. But if you do it yourself, you might be spinning your wheels for about 4 to 6 weeks before you kind of like settle in on the right number. And by then you've probably given up.
Yes. By then.
Because you're flustered.
I wonder, I don't know if there's data, but I'm assuming people who just all of a sudden start diets, how long do they really truly last before they fall in their face? A couple of weeks maybe?
2 weeks, I would say.
Max, and then
I would say 2 weeks.
Because the scale doesn't move, something doesn't
go right, something, yeah. 2 weeks, I would say.
Or they're bumpy, all the way bumpy, and they just one day just go all in and that's it.
Yeah. There's a huge failure rate.
Yeah. It's super high.
Huge.
It's
huge.
It's in the 90 percentile plus bracket.
Lack of knowledge. And the more, and
That's
I know
true.
maybe to you guys, to a lot of our listeners, you guys know because you're listeners. You know a lot.
Yeah.
For us, sorry, I keep getting text messages about my status of something must be going on over at my dad's house. But for you guys, because we talk about this all the time. But for most people, they still believe a lot of crazy things. Like I didn't know I could have a sandwich while I'm trying to lose weight. I thought I couldn't eat any bread at all.
For many years, we were taught that you can't eat bread or potatoes or rice. No way. You can't lose weight eating that.
I'm false. You can lose weight eating French fries all day. You could eat McDonald's French fries every day and still lose weight. Will you be the healthiest? No. Are you getting protein? No. But that's not the question is, how do you lose weight? You could do it. Remember the whole Subway diet?
Yeah.
That was a big deal. Why was that such a big deal? Because that guy Jared lost like 200 pounds eating only Subway. And at that time, that notion that you cannot eat bread was big.
Yep.
And so it was like a miracle to people.
He debunked it without even trying to debunk it.
Yeah. That you can eat sandwiches every day and still lose weight.
Because why? He was about a 400+ pound dude.
And he was just eating
three
6-inch sandwiches a day.
That's it.
Yeah.
He didn't even know. He just did that. He just did
much.
that and it worked for him.
He was eating 400-calorie sandwiches 3 times a day. And he lost a couple hundred pounds. Yeah. And then now he's in prison for child molestation. He's a
pedophile.
He's a
pedo.
There's a documentary on it, actually. I want to watch it, but
I wonder how his vacation's going on inside of there.
But yeah, so, there's so many like things that people still believe. Like, I didn't know you could eat that. Or like they'll see me eat a treat or something. I'll be eating an ice cream bar and I'll put it in my Instagram. And someone will DM me saying, oh, but you can only do that because you're in maintenance, right? If I'm losing weight, I can't have that. I'm like, yeah, you can. I'm not in maintenance right now. I'm actually in a very slow cut right now, and I'm doing just fine. I'm getting leaner every week.
And I remember I took this course for the National Council of Strength and Fitness, and there was a workshop. Like you physically go on, and the dude was smart. He was on his way to like medical school. That's that smart to do. He was trying to teach us macros back then. He goes, listen, guys, you can eat pizza twice a week. And I have a couple beers and still lose weight. We're
and
like,
you didn't
scratching our head. We didn't.
You guys were like,
how?
No way.
No way. That goes against everything that's been taught. Like, how is that possible? But he was just ahead of his time. His macros. He was plugging in his way of doing it. But I couldn't grasp it back then. I did not understand.
Now, there was a big popular diet that first became mainstream, made macros mainstream. And it is called If It Fits Your Macros. Remember If It Fits Your Macros?
Yeah.
But the problem with that, it was a couple guys started it. Actually, it was hugely popular, especially in the competitor world. The problem with that diet, though, is they really stress the fact that you can eat anything you want. And they didn't preach about nutritional value and just getting your nutrition and getting your micronutrients. They basically said, look, if you want to eat Pop-Tarts all day and a couple of protein bars, do it. As long as it fits your macros, you're good. But while you could still, yes, reach weight loss goals that way,
Yes, you
you could
could.
be affecting your health in other ways.
Yep.
And you're lacking micronutrients. Maybe some people were lacking protein, but that became widely popular. And I remember like it was a big deal. Everyone would be like, I eat Pop-Tarts and I still hit my macros. So it's all about a balance.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
I think I have a good balance on, like when we went out, even when we went out to eat Saturday, I had a salad, which was, it was on the healthier side for sure. Grilled chicken, not a lot of stuff in there. But I also wanted fish tacos, and they're deep fried fish. So I thought, you know what? I want the fish tacos, but I also want this salad. How about I just have one fish taco instead of ordering the platter of fish tacos?
Yeah.
And I'll have my salad and I'll have one fish taco. That's what I mean by balance.
You had your cake and ice cream, except you had your salad and a fish taco.
Right. And then like what?
Man,
We
it
went to
worked.
get pastries at the pastry shop after, and we shared a pastry.
Yes.
It's share, taste, share desserts, share appetizers.
Yes, with your mate, share.
There's-
Don't get one for yourself each. That's too much a lot of times.
Yeah, like if you want a piece of cake, share it. Like if you're getting the butter cake at Mastro's and you've got a table of 4 people, get one cake and share the cake with
That's
4
plenty,
people.
you guys. Trust me.
And that way you get it, but you're creating a balance because you're not overindulging on
Yes.
it. And that's why like the if it fits your macros was kind of like concerning, because it was it created kind of like a lot of people with some serious weird relationships with food and like body dysmorphia, and the marriage between like the competitors, and it was a weird kind of scandalous thing. I don't know what went down with it. I don't know if it's still popular right now. I like to call, my style of dying balanced dieting.
I was going to say
balanced
something to that.
nutrition.
Everything's a balance.
Yeah.
Your style of dieting's a balance. How you work out, the most important thing in working out is balance. Your equilibrium balance, you're balanced.
Mhm.
Your nutrition, what you're eating is balanced.
Yeah.
And that's the best. Everything's balanced. And so people shouldn't, I personally, don't worry about the macros. Just make sure you're eating balance. Learn balance. Once you learn balance, you'll master the rest.
Yeah.
Then it becomes
balance in-
routine. Then it becomes you're balanced every time. You're not overeating. You're not undereating. You're balanced. Everything's balanced right. You learn balance.
Yeah.
And then macros is like secondary. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It won't be hard. It'll be easy.
And you know what's funny is
Balance.
just balance in
Yes.
life.
Yes, balance in
in
your
every
life.
aspect
Yes.
of life, right?
Everything comes back to balance. If you think about it, it's right in the middle.
Everything.
Doesn't matter how far you stray away from it. It pulls you back in.
Everything. You can't overdo anything. It's like,
No.
hey guys, sleep is really good. Sleep is so good for
Yes.
recovery. Sleep is amazing. So if I have Susie Q go, well, Janine told me sleep is great, so I'm going to sleep 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
See what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's not good. You have to have a balanced day, too. You have 24 hours in a day.
Yes.
Balance out your day, too.
Got about. Yep.
You have a little recreational, you have work, you
Mm-hmm.
have sleep, you have relax, you have workout, you create some balance in your life in many aspects. How you eat, how you work out. Is the camera on? Yeah. I don't know. It looked weird there for a second.
But yeah, balance. How you balance exactly? You balance your life.
Yeah,
So
just
balance,
kind of
balance your
in
food.
your life.
Balance your food intake. Get used to it.
Yeah, speaking of which cracks me up, I wanted to touch on it briefly. I see it a lot. People are like, the new thing, the new gadget is those continuous glucose monitors.
Oh,
And
yeah?
people are like, they put these monitors on, they keep them on, and people who are not diabetic, they're fitness people. Like, you're not pre-diabetic, you're not diabetic, you don't have any health concerns, but why are you so fixated on what your blood sugar is doing every time you eat? It's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Experts agree it is unnecessary
Yeah.
for the average person who is not at risk of diabetes to be tracking their blood sugar. It almost lends itself to some sort of disordered behavior, in my opinion.
Yeah. That is weird.
But part of the problem is, what I see is these people who are pushing this monitor that are obviously making money off selling the monitor. They're
Yep.
testing their their blood sugar. Like, ooh, I'm going to show you guys how bad it is to drink a Starbucks Frappuccino. Well, duh. If you just drink a Starbucks Frappuccino and it's just all sugar and not balanced, what do you think it's going to do to your blood sugar?
It's going to spike your insulin.
You know, if you just eat a ton of fruit, a big bowl of fruit, they want to show you, see, it's not good to eat a big bowl of fruit. If you don't have a balance, that's why meals should be balanced. You should have fats and proteins and carbs together so that your insulin spikes are balanced. So these individual tests that they keep doing to like show you why you shouldn't eat this and you shouldn't eat that, blah, blah, blah.
They act like they're teaching us something new.
Yeah, like you shouldn't do that because, yeah, of course, if you eat just a banana by itself, yeah, it's going to spike your blood sugar. And then it confuses the shit out of people. And let me tell you why. They'll eat something unhealthy, quote unquote unhealthy, like a protein bar that has all kinds of processed stuff in it or whatever. And it will spike their blood sugar less than a banana. And then they'll get confused. They're like, wait a minute. So like it's not good to eat bananas? I can't eat bananas because they spike my blood sugar? You know what I'm saying? Then it throws them off and they think, oh, like, then they get more confused. Sometimes too much data is a bad thing.
Yeah, you guys don't complicate it. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated. It really isn't. You can eat fruits. You can eat ice
cream. I don't
creams.
recommend testing things like that if you don't need to. Because
you're not diabetic.
It's too much data. Too much data can be a bad thing. It can almost cause like a paralysis.
Sensory overload.
It's almost like it's too much. So you go, you know what? I'm so confused. Now I don't know if I should eat bananas or strawberries or these Fiber One bars or I don't know what to do. Yeah. I'm not going to do any of it. Screw it. And you just like.
You fall off the deep
It's
chain.
too much.
You jump into the ocean with no life jacket.
It's also why I started to get, like, even with, I have tons of clients that are still on keto. I still do keto meal plans. Some people just prefer the keto diet. And I think
nothing wrong
the
with
most
that.
important thing
if
for
you. It's
you.
working for them, it's working.
Yeah, is to pick a nutrition style that you like, that works for you.
I love it.
One thing I do not do anymore, though, that I used to do, I have never asked in the past 2 years any of my clients what their ketone reading is. And I used to ask that. And I used to test my own ketones.
I remember that.
I became very invested in testing my ketones until one day I realized, you know what? This is not a good practice. This does not lend itself to good relationships with food.
Yeah.
Because you become fearful. I then started to become fearful. Oh my God, if I want to taste your food and it has carbs in it, oh my God, what if it kicks me out of ketosis? I remember I would come home from a restaurant and automatically test my ketones.
I never did that.
That's not good.
I always kind of thought I was kind of dumb, to be honest with you. I don't know why. That's why I just kept it to myself. I was like, you know why I thought I was dumb? I didn't test my ketones, and I got super lean and ripped on keto.
Yeah, you never did.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't.
Because it's
what
like,
was the purpose
okay, if your body's using ketones because you're not eating carbs, or if you ate a little bit of carbs, your body will use the carbs first, and then it goes back to ketones. It's okay. Even if you're on the keto diet, you don't have to be in ketosis all the time. You do not. You will still lose weight if you are in ketosis part of the time. If maybe you did eat too many carbs today, and so it kicked you out of ketosis. All that means is you've stored enough glycogen for your body to switch back over to its glycogen energy source until it depletes that. Once it depletes that, it'll go back over to the ketones as energy, which is your stored triglycerides, your stored body fat. So, but you don't have to be in a constant state of ketosis to have results. But I found that I thought the ketone monitors were kind of a little bit like people were obsessing. Yeah. My clients started to obsess. They would freak out if they got kicked out of ketosis. How do I get back into ketosis faster? And I started to realize, like, wait a minute. You're
not focusing on the real goal.
Yeah, you're not focused on the right thing.
That's not the right goal.
That's not it.
That's nothing.
And
part
that's
of a weight loss journey. That's not. Trust me, I didn't do it once, and look, I lost hella weight on it. I got lean. I didn't test.
And that's how I feel about the.
I follow my macros.
Continuous glucose monitors. I feel like it's just another gadget that's kind of a waste of time.
What's another one you told me about?
Oh my gosh.
Another one that sounds even more stupid.
Yes, you blow into it. They have tried to get me to do a sponsored thing with them so many times. I've told them, like, listen, if you did your due diligence, you would know I am not the one. I'm not going to ever say yes to this. Where you blow into this device And based on your breath, it will tell you if you're currently burning body fat or are you burning glycogen. And then based on that, you'll know whether you should eat carbs or fats. You guys, gimmick.
Too much.
Does not matter.
It's going to make you spin out of control in your mind.
Because it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter.
You don't
Because
need
when
all that.
calories are equated, when you're in a deficit, it does not matter what you're burning. If you're in a deficit, you're in a deficit. Your body will dip into stored body fat to make up the deficit. That's it.
People are going to fight this tooth and nail. Like, they just don't want, they want to get around the law of thermodynamics. You cannot cheat the game.
No.
Calories in, calories out. What don't people understand
Even
that?
we were listening to Joe Rogan recently, and even he likes to jump on the carnivore diet once a year to lean out. So everyone's like, see? Even Joe Rogan knows the carnivore diet's where it's at. You burn stored body fat with that diet, blah, blah, blah. Well, what did Joe say?
He eats fruit with it too.
Joe said, listen, guys, I know it's not some magical diet. It's very simple.
Yep.
It's just that when you are eating primarily meat, you're very satiated. You are full. You are not snacking. You therefore eat less. It still boils down to the law of thermodynamics.
Yes.
It basically is just easier to stay in a deficit. Period. It's not magical. It's not some magical thing that happens. And so many people try to prove that it is because they want that next, they want to be the one who discovers that magic that's going to be the ideal way to lose weight.
No. Sorry. There's laws that you just can't break. And it's not physical laws by man. It's laws of nature.
Whoever
you can't
made
break.
us. You'd have
Whoever
to
made us.
redesign the machine.
Yes.
Maybe the next generation, humans 2.0.
Yes.
Maybe they will have a different energy balance system. Maybe they will have a different fuel source. It'll be like, cars with gasoline, and then they came with hybrid cars. Maybe some other humans someday it will be different.
Yeah.
But for now, the way we are made, it's proven scientific fact backed by numerous studies. So people keep trying to reinvent the wheel, and I don't know why.
No.
Any other thing that you tell me, well, this works. Well, intermittent fasting works. Well, juicing works. Well, all of those things create a calorie deficit.
Yes, they do.
There is nothing
fasting
that works that doesn't create a deficit.
Yeah.
It's just different means to an end.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yep. So basically what she's saying is if you're supposed to eat no more than 2,500 calories, but you go, I'm going to break these laws of thermodynamics or calories because I'm going to prove to everybody I'm going to put 1,000 calories on top of my meat 7 days a week, and let's see if I can lose weight on it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, try.
Can't. Doesn't work.
Come back, show me.
That's
us.
what,
Hasn't happened.
even how the GLP-1 medications work. It still doesn't disregard
Ozempic.
It still doesn't disregard calorie deficits. It's not as if, because that would be amazing. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be the first one to say, I admit right now, if there was a shot I could take where I can then eat whatever I wanted, however much I wanted, and still maintain my weight, I would do it. That's not what Ozempic does.
No.
Ozempic causes you to lose your appetite, so you eat less, and it's easier to control food intake.
Yep.
It is not something that you can eat whatever you want and still lose weight. That I would sign up for. And you know what? Do I think that science could come up with something like that? To somehow, possible.
Of course.
Possible for sure. But right now it's not there. They don't have that.
Yeah.
They used to have this one, oh my gosh. Do you remember Ally pills or Ally pills? Where you would
I don't know much
people
about it,
would,
but I do remember those pills.
People would poop their pants.
Ally. Right?
No, ALLE, I think.
I do remember it a little bit.
It would create oily poops. People would
I do remember
literally
that
poop their pants on that pill. So what they were saying was it would absorb fats that you ate and you would poop it out, and so it wouldn't store fat.
That's right. It was a little crazy about that.
It just made you sick. It made you have chronic diarrhea.
That's not what you want. That's not healthy.
And then I tried it, of course, because I tried all the gimmicks back then. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with okay, if something at first something comes out, I go, ooh, is this it? Is this the magic? And then my bubble is burst in most cases. But I tried that, and I just remember that it just like, sorry to be TMI, guys, but when you take that pill, you cannot trust a fart.
That's
It was all bad. It was all bad.
It comes with its own special side effects.
Yeah. All right, moving on. I want to talk about that video. I actually shared it on my Instagram. I sent it to you. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to pop it up because I found this lady that I'm in love with. She's 91 years old, and she talked about how her daughter asked her, "Hey, Mom, why do you dye your hair?" She doesn't look 91, by the way. She's very thin.
I thought you were messing with me when you told me she's 91.
But very youthful looking, and she has like this really pretty brown hair, like a little bob, and her daughter said to her mom,
"Everyone
wants to know, like, why do you dye your hair?"
Why don't you let it
Because
just go gray?
I don't want to look old.
good.
I want to look
Because
good.
I want to. It was
funny.
just so cute. And it just made me realize, like, I thought that was just so cool. Like, that's her version of aging gracefully.
Yeah.
She's choosing to dye her hair. Now, the comments on the video, so many people were kind of bothered by it.
It's always somebody.
So
people
they were just talking about, the video was about her, why she chooses to dye her hair, and then for whatever reason, it made people who have decided to keep gray hair feel some type of way.
But
and
that's
they commented,
their choice.
like this person, "But I absolutely love gray hair. It shows courage and nonconformist attitude." Blah, and she goes on and on. I'm not even going to read this whole comment.
She wrote a book. Huh?
So this woman who's 91, who looks amazing and fit, she's not showing courage because she dyed her hair. Why do the people who keep the gray hair, why do they automatically feel some type of way?
Right?
They didn't say
this lady has nothing to do with
anything
their life. She didn't say nothing bad about gray hair. Nothing bad.
She didn't say a single word about gray hair, but everybody in the comments with gray hair felt some type of way about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? So is it because secretly you are insecure about your gray hair?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you love it, you shouldn't have been triggered by the comment.
Exactly.
By her dyeing her hair, that shouldn't trigger you.
Yeah. Yeah. She never said nothing to you directly or anything about gray hair. So why do you feel some type of way?
So I thought that was interesting because I do think some people rock gray hair and it looks great. Good for you.
Yes.
But why triggered by this lady? But by the way, so then of course I went down a rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. The daughter is 59 and fit. Super fit, mother of 7 children.
59.
5'9".
7 children.
7 children. Now, the daughter did just have some plastic surgery because she got a lower neck lift and some other stuff, and I think she's going to look great. She's still in the recovery process. But the mother has never had plastic surgery. She kind of was like, I wish I could do something, and she was kind of like touching her face, but now she's too old. It's dangerous. But she looks good. But she was like, she said, she goes, I wish I could do a little something, but she was very supportive of her daughter doing something. And I also did a little deep dive into the Instagram and saw that this woman works out at the gym. She showed videos of her mom working out when she was in her 70s. And she works out, and I loved this, what her daughter said. She works out, she exercises to maintain her independence. That's her.
Say that again.
The daughter, the mother, fitness is important to her because she wants to maintain her independence. Because she still lives alone.
I see what she says.
She wants to be strong enough for as long as possible to take care of herself.
Yes.
She wants to make sure she has good balance.
See?
Can walk, reduce the risk of injury.
Yes.
She does core workouts. She does planks.
Core
she has
very
been,
important.
And the daughter showed videos of her working out like from over 20 years ago. Like, she made fitness a big part of her a priority for her. And obviously she did, because now, look at her daughter. It made me think about like Alyssa and I. I hope that's Alyssa and I someday. Yeah. Alyssa is 59. And how old will I be when Alyssa's 59, 69, 79? I will be 84 when Alyssa is 59. And I hope she's showing me super fit, asking me why I dye my hair, and she can be super fit herself like that, And it made me think about that because I feel like I broke the cycle.
Yeah.
I
That's
did.
True.
I'm the one who made a change because everyone in the history before me, my mom had a chronic obesity off and on her whole life. Her mother,
Mhm.
her mother, like so on and so
Man.
forth. I am the first one. And so now I'm hoping that I have broken that cycle, and from here on out, it's like generational fitness. Instead of
Yes.
generational wealth, it's like now I've broken the cycle and started a
True.
new path, and it's generational
Yeah, 'cause
fitness.
both your kids work out. They're both healthy. They're both fit. You know what I'm saying? And now, if they keep continuing to lead that lifestyle, their kids will see what they're doing and follow in their footsteps.
Right. And I loved that. It made me
That's
so
what you
happy.
want.
I'm like, wow, I never really stopped to think, because there was a long time, a big period of my life in my 20s and early 30s where I was falling into my mother's footsteps. And what do I mean by that? Fluctuating weight,
Yeah.
fad diets, crash dieting. My mom did crash dieting. My mom gained and lost 100 pounds at least 3 times in her life. She was obese, then lost the weight, then obese. And I was going down that same path, but for whatever reason, I was able to break the chains of that. And, I'm happy that I did that.
Yeah.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, it is. And I think you competing too opened up your eyes. Like, wow, the aesthetics. Really change your
Because I think
mindset.
for a long time I felt like you just are you genetically can or you cannot reach a certain level of fitness.
Yeah.
I thought that you are either you have a flat stomach and a small waist genetically, or you don't. And even if you diet and diet and diet, you won't get it. And I was wrong.
Yes.
You can reshape and craft the physique of your dreams if
Yes,
you're
you
willing
could.
to put in the work.
Yes, you could. Facts.
Absolutely.
Even
You can.
being older, you could do it. Don't believe me?
100%.
Go find people on YouTube and they'll blow your mind away.
Yeah. I mean, this woman is crazy. And she said that her motto is, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that couldn't be more true.
So true. Super true. I saw a lady too recently. I don't remember if it was on YouTube or Instagram. 71 years old doing like a bikini comp.
Oh, yeah, you sent it to me.
Did I
They
send it
do
to you?
have senior bikini competitor division.
71 years
Mhm.
old. My mother passed away at 65 years old. Your mother was how old when she passed?
75.
70-something-year-old women now competing.
And my other grandmother, 59.
Just goes to show you the power of the mind.
Overweight,
Yeah.
unhealthy.
But the power of the mind. These women set their mind to it and they're doing it. They're like, I don't care if I'm 70 or whatever. I'm going to do it. And that's that.
Yeah.
Just set your mind
I mean,
to it.
isn't it cool to think like, like some people when they're in their 70s, say they have their 70th birthday, they're already kind of like thinking end of life stuff, right? They're kind of
Yes.
thinking, oh, it's, getting to the end of my life.
Not
What
really.
if you've got 25 years left?
Yes. If you said, you know what, I'm going to beast it out. I'm going to turn into
Yeah.
a different person. I'm going to really hone in my diet. I'm going to hone in myself. I'm going to work out. I'm going to make sure my kinetic chain is functioning, my body, everything. Just, and then boom. Next thing you know, you're like flying in your 70s. You feel better than
I know.
ever.
So it's like, don't pack it up.
No,
don't
don't.
pack it up. Set your sights on like,
Even midlife, right now, our age, people tap out and give up.
I've
Midlife.
found myself doing that before, not fitness related stuff, but other types of things. I think like,
Yes.
man, I wish I would have done more of this in my life and this. I'm acting as if like I don't have a good, another 40 plus years left to do those things.
It's
You
true.
have to think, don't plan.
Just because the beginning of your life didn't go the way you wanted, as
Right.
you wanted it,
Right.
the book is, but the story's not over yet. There's still another
Right.
journey.
And I think that sometimes, don't plan too early for things, even inevitable things. I think sometimes we live in what's gonna happen, what's bound to happen, what's
Yes.
coming soon.
Yeah.
And we live in that space before we need to be there.
That's
And
true.
I have to remind myself of that too, like with my dad. My
That's so
dad is
true.
ill. I am his caregiver. And I think sometimes I find myself planning and preparing too much for the end instead of being in the moment.
Mhm.
Because what if I waste so much time planning and preparing and it ends up being a lot longer than I thought? I wasted so much time planning for something that was still further away than I realized. Because
Yeah.
if I'm being realistic here, the timeline we were given has expired
Yeah, it has.
by the doctor. So they were not right. You know what I mean? So I spent a lot of time preparing for something based on this timeline that didn't come to fruition. So I need to stop focusing on that and just like enjoying
But
It's
see,
just
they were smart about that. They didn't overpromise. You know what I mean?
no, that's true. Yeah.
Because think about it. They say, "Oh, he has 15 months and he made it to 9 or 10." You're like, "Oh, you doctor, I thought you said." Well, things happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're not perfect. They're not. They don't know. They're just guesstimating.
No, they do their best guesses. But,
Yeah.
it's just a reminder that you don't always have to. It's good to plan and to kind of be prepared, but don't
Yes.
over plan and over prepare for things sometimes, because then you're in the next moment. You're not in the current moment. So like even when you have a baby, enjoy the baby. Don't be like, I can't wait till she crawls. I can't wait till she walks.
Yes.
I can't wait till she goes to school. I can't wait till she, graduates 5th grade. I can't
Yeah.
wait till she's this. It's like, enjoy the moment. And I need the same reminders, trust me.
Yep.
I need the same reminders but I try to tell even my daughter, yes, I am excited and they know I'm excited to be a grandmother, but I'm not going to be like, hey, when am I having grandbabies? When are you guys going to give me? I'm not
Yeah,
going to be
no.
like that.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
Hound them.
life,
Yes.
travel, enjoy the stage that you're in. Look forward to the future, but you don't have to be in the future already, because if you're always in the future, you're never going to enjoy the present.
Confucius once says, don't live in the past, don't look behind, and don't look too far ahead. Live in the present.
Yeah.
Because if not, your mind gets crazy too.
Yeah, and then you kind of don't enjoy, you never enjoy the present. And remember,
You don't.
the present right now was like yesterday's future,
Yes. True.
right?
Yeah.
So we don't stop and think like, oh, we made it to the future, so let's just enjoy this here for
Yeah.
a sec before we're always like on to the. And I mean, I think we just are in this society. It's just like on to the next.
The next holiday.
What
the next
now?
birthday,
What
I guess,
now? Yeah, I actually
Chase.
I get annoyed sometimes. I'm like, listen, I handle only like a couple of things at a time right now. I don't look too far into the future on a lot of things. I get to, when people start to press me, like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, nope, too far out. I'm not there yet. Like,
Yeah.
reel it back in.
Yeah.
Like, I've got too much going on to worry about what's going on next Halloween.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm not there. I
Yeah.
kind of get like stressed out sometimes when people do that to
If
me.
somebody was talking to me about Halloween in April, like, hey, shut that shit up. It's April. What are you doing?
No, but it's people like will do that sometimes, like
Yeah.
too far out. I don't know.
Christmas, what's going? No. I'm looking forward to spring. Okay, I'm living in the moment, sunshine.
Yeah,
That's
I'm looking forward
sunshine every
to
day. Sunny
more
days.
shorter term goals, like the next sunny day.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to. The next sunny day. I'm looking forward to being done with this podcast, and so I could watch TV for a little bit
So it could
and
be
chill
a
out.
Monday day.
Yeah,
Chill out.
that's what I'm looking forward to. So we all need reminders sometimes.
That's
but
true. That's true. It's hard. It is hard. And it messes us up. It's always on to the next, chasing this. We got to enjoy the present.
Yeah, be
Today.
present. I know it's like
Enjoy
cliche.
today. I know.
I need the same advice sometimes. For
Yes.
some things, I'm good at doing that, but some things, I get caught up too. You don't have to be so like overly prepared and always planning exactly everything. Like
Yeah.
like what you said. Confucius say.
That's
Confucius say. Is that what he
Yeah.
says? Is that what he says?
That's what he said.
He says what exactly? Say, repeat it one more time before we sign off.
Don't live in the past
Uh-huh.
and don't look too far ahead in the future. Live in the
There you
present,
go.
basically. Live in the present.
There you go, guys. And we will leave you with that. Thank you so much. Love you guys. See you on the next one.
See ya.